Please join me in welcoming Mr. Tamás VARGHA, State Secretary for Civil and Intelligence Services at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary.
First of all, on behalf of Minister Péter Szijjártó and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, it is a great honor and pleasure for me to have the opportunity to address you on the 5th Think Budapest conference. We are particularly proud that with the cooperation of our ministry, this event is organized annually in Budapest, and this is the 5th occasion, and since 2016, it has become one of the most important conferences on innovation and future technologies in our region. First of all, let me share with you some thoughts about the current situation we are in. This is COVID-19, and we are in the second wave, and the arrival of the second wave and the spread of coronavirus has been, and I think is inevitable. And in this challenging time, our goal is to secure and maintain normal life for our citizens and to do the best to ensure functioning the economy. And within this context, we find that regional cooperation is critical to mitigate and isolate the pandemic shock. Therefore, in the fight against the epidemic, the V4 is seeking to set up a coordination system which would enable consultations effectively aimed at exchange of experience, new researches and innovations in this regard. During the pandemic, it has become apparent for us that international cooperation and joint approaches to new challenges in the digital field, in the digital world, can also provide significant added value to national efforts. The COVID-19 has forced millions of people to work from a distance. We call that home office or smart working, and it's created new vulnerabilities for governmental and private organizations as well, and also to individuals. Sadly enough, the pandemic has also given rise to increased malicious cyber and digital activities, and also showed that all countries rely heavily on digital technologies to maintain their daily businesses, enable most critical infrastructure systems, and drive economic and social growth. Also, with the ever-growing dependence, our exposure has become even more visible. Consequently, we think we need to step up our efforts on a global, regional, and also national level. At the same time, work must continue at regional and inter-regional levels as well. Hungary is playing a lead role in these efforts. At the national level, we recognize the challenges and do our utmost to meet them. Supporting research, development and innovation is a key priority for the Hungarian government. We believe that research, development and innovation, as well as science and technology, are the engine for economic growth and key factors in strengthening competitiveness. Our government is committed to making the domestic RDI system internationally competitive. There are several RDI-intensive industries with comparative advantages in Hungary. We are also taking a proactive role in digital transition, and thanks to government measures, world-class digital infrastructure creates the right environment for high value-added high-tech investments, and also we are able to attract research and development activities from major global companies in Hungary. Ladies and gentlemen, the Visegrad cooperation, the V4 cooperation, plays a special role in our perception of our identity as a Central European country. since the V4 is not limited to cooperation solely in foreign affairs. The V4 is also a strong alliance of 4 nations that helps us strengthen regional solidarity and identify our common visions and common goals. And we also firmly believe that the Visegrad cooperation has a potential to help reaching our strategic goal, preserving Central Europe as a stable, secure, and competitive region. Also, we have launched a number of cooperation formats in the V4 Plus framework. More than 50 countries were involved in the V4 Plus meetings or projects in different topics. Central Europe is a vibrant geopolitical region with highly skilled and well-educated human resources and an impressive record in scientific achievements. Moreover, it has significant comparative advantages in a number of sectors and bright prospects for continued growth. Ladies and gentlemen, disruptive innovation has become a global phenomenon, deeply affecting the performance of the world economy. Proper policy frameworks on digitalization serve the development of disruptive and breakthrough technologies and the efficient operation of a data-driven economy. Everything that can be digitalized will be digitalized in the future, and everything that we digitalize will be connected with each other. The growing networks of connected digital devices require appropriate bandwidth, high-speed data transfer, info communication infrastructure that follows the changes. After 2020, the 5G mobile network will be capable to offer almost unlimited bandwidth. It will create the infrastructural background for developments requiring large amounts of data transmission and increasingly complex and heterogeneous interconnected digital networks in all sectors. One of our goals is to attract 5G development, to play a regional role in their implementation, moreover to be among the first countries in the implementation of 5G network. If we have to sum it up, what is important to us in the future, let me say that science is the root of innovation, and innovation is the source of economic growth. By promoting international cooperation in innovation, we can stimulate the growth and enhance the capability of our national RDI systems in an increasingly interconnected science community. I believe today's conference will focus on specific topics such as the future of the 5G, data protection in the post-COVID era, and the regulation of tech giants in today's societies. Given the new challenges we have to face in today's world, to raise and to discuss these issues are of utmost importance for all of us. With this short introduction, I'd like to wish you a successful conference, successful and safe conference for today, and like to express my and our thanks to the Antall József Knowledge Centre and the directors for organizing this event for the 5th time. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Varga. Next, please join me in welcoming to the stage Veronika Antall-HORVÁTH, Deputy Director of the Antall József Knowledge Centre.
State Secretary Varga, thank you very much for your thoughts. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear speakers of the Think Budapest conference, dear VARGHA participants, on behalf of the Antall József Knowledge Centre, I also would like to warmly welcome you to the conference. here in the room and those all around the world who are joining online to the first hybrid version of the Think Budapest conference. I also would like to say special thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary, especially to Minister Szijjártó, who is the main patron of the event. As contradictory as it might seem, notwithstanding of the fact it is about digitalization and innovation, it is the very first Think Budapest conference organized online or in a hybrid format. However, it is not because of the fact that the topics at hand call for it, but because of the pandemic. I think at the very beginning of this all, it was exciting to participate in online conferences because of the peculiarity of taking part in foreign events without actually being physically present. Then I realized that this is only fascinating for the first couple of times as you start to miss face-to-face contact. This is because people are conservative, not necessarily in terms of political affiliation, mind you. They are conservative in a sense that they prefer to see the person they are talking to. First impressions are invaluable, which you might not get properly through an online meeting. Digital devices might even distort the image formulate of a person owing to bad quality of devices involved. This is not only the older generation speaking trope. When the great majority of young people were forced to remain home to learn or to work and participate in online meetings and conferences, they were soon overcome by a sense of confinement and felt that they could endure it for a while, but they would soon like to meet their fellow students, their teachers, or their partners. And then there is also the question of security. Many of the platforms used for arranging online meetings and organizing conferences turned out to be easy prey for hacking, and the security of the persons involved and the privacy of what was being discussed were questioned. Then we came to the conclusion, if social media portals trace your habits and even potentially follow the conversation, what happens when what being said is a business secret? Is it really safe for us to act in the online space? This brings us to the question of data protection and cybersecurity. But be informed that all of your data are in safe hands, not least because of the fact that Mr. Péter Falvi, President of the Hungarian National Authority for Data Protection and Freedom of Information, is here. Another important thing became apparent with the pandemic. No matter how technologically developed we are in the 21st century with an inappropriate amount of smart devices and 4G internet, if the whole family connects to the internet for work at the same, the background system we have might prove inadequate. Regardless of all these issues, we do in fact organize this conference in a hybrid form so that the speakers and audience can join online from all around the world to find joint solutions to our challenges and harness the opportunities inherent in the digital transformation of our world. I don't want to talk much about the pandemic. However, it highlighted the vulnerability of the globalized world. Think about how some of the corporations here in Europe too halted their work because they couldn't get hold of materials from China essential for production. Or how much of an income loss the suspension of travel meant for tourism, airlines, and travel agencies. Or luxury vacation places employing Bangladeshi or Indian workers for the comparably cheaper labor force who couldn't travel back because of the lockdown, and thus these places couldn't operate for the lack of staff. But it is also true of luxury fashion brands who outsource a great majority of their production to the Far East. Then we arrive to the question of the role states should take. The greatly supported minimal state model seems to be failing, as in many cases, if the state doesn't provide a helping hand, many corporations might be doomed to fail, even big corporations like Lufthansa. Even in case of wealthy states such as the Republic of Singapore, help was essentially provided to have Singapore Airlines. The way the virus was handled points to the fact that the greater involvement on the part of the state is needed. My daughter was born at the end of April this year. I cannot even imagine what opportunities and what type of hardships the future holds for her, both in terms of the above questions and in terms of choosing career. Notwithstanding, as she's only 5 months old, we still have time. So I do hope that during the conference we will find the answer together. And now I would like to say thank you for our sponsors and partners, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Hungary, the Philip Morris and the MVM, and you who are participating in the conference, and you VARGHA participants. So thank you very much for your attention.